Just because something bad happens doesn't mean that God's not with you. It doesn't mean you're evil if you lose a fight. I know that. This is in regards to Israel. I do know that. I'm basing everything, a lot of what I'm saying, just on the Bible, though. So we know we're supposed to follow the Word of God. I mean, those that believe in the Bible. And yet there's so many areas where we just disregard it. We justify it. And we give so much money to Israel. Yet we would never give that, well, unless you're the Biden administration who gives Iran. And I'm not trying to say that Israel on the face of it is an enemy, but there's, like, I'm so, like, the presidents at the Jewish, it's like all these, Jewish coalition is just another special interest group that all the presidents are going to pander to, except there's Americans, okay? Like, when is it about Americans? Never, never. Just, we're going to take your money. We don't care what you think about it. Even if we're far right, because we'll stand on this idea that we have to stand with Israel. I stand with the innocent people of the world. That's who I stand with. If that somehow is going against God, then God will, strike me down, or I will pay for it, right? But I don't think so, because I think that when you refer to Jesus as the most damaging false prophet in history, that's what Judaism says, then I have a problem with why we're giving them so much of our money. In the Bible, there's certain people that God said to stay clear of. Jesus said it. And yet it seems that our country, no matter what politician, no matter what Republican, what Democrat, is just all in with, you got Biden that's in with, Hamas and Iran, but then you have all the Republicans and the media all in with Israel. So then it's probably not such a good thing there either, because most of the time you shouldn't want to stand where the media stands. And again, it's never about the people that live in this country. And yet we're going to give money to a country that their religion sees Jesus as the most damaging false prophet. No, he was damaging to their egos. They don't like it because he was right and his word went to carry on. Yet we have to keep giving money. And this isn't, you know what, like, screw this shit. I think this whole anti-Jew thing has been used so that people can't ever question this. Okay, so I'm going to question it. You call me, I'm not saying you, but anybody, call me whatever you want. I think there's a lot of questions here. And I've said the Bible, the number one thing the Bible's about is truth. Truth. We're supposed to speak truth. So these are questions I have, yeah. What has always troubled me, and I guess I never sat and thought about it long enough, is this is what it really comes down to, is that the Holocaust took 6 million Jews. If God was with them, he would have never let that happen. But I'm just saying, you know what? People can attack me if they want, but seriously, this begs some questions here, because I've never been able to wrap my head around that. And yet we're told it's because they're the chosen people and God says this will happen. No, God says they will be protected if they follow his ways. But when they refused to acknowledge Jesus, and then they went on and taught that, that we're only going to follow the Old Testament, then think about how much that would anger God. And if God lifts protection on you, it would happen to our country. It's already it's been happening to us ever since 9/11. God's just been lifting his hand little by little. But here's the even more wicked part about it, and I'm not saying the Jews are wicked. I'm not saying, no, there's wicked people in the world. It has nothing to do with what religion, what sect, or whatever, okay? It has something to do with religion, but not ethnicity, okay? So the best way you'd want to try to to hurt America, because you have to remember that Jesus said how cunning that evil one is, that evilness. Well, the best way to take all of America into destruction would be, give all this money to Israel, yet Israel bashes our God. Maybe they don't do it to our face, but they do. Their Judaism does. It says it. That Jesus was the most damaging self-prophet. Should Americans be giving money then? I guess I just look at it again from the biblical standpoint. How would God see that? I'm not saying he would damn us for it, but it's kind of pulling the wool over our eyes, right? Yeah. But I guess it's okay. You can bash our religion. I mean, that's part of the freedom of America, right? But when when all these leaders, the Republicans and the Democrats, I don't care who it is. I mean, every single one of them too. Believe me, I'm not excluding any now. Not saying I don't stand with some of the. You get what I'm saying here, okay? Because there's a problem here that's not being addressed. There is, and it's always the same damn problem. Every damn president, every damn. You know what? Yeah, why Jesus said, don't attach to this place. The whole system will just take you into a lie. Yeah, we're going to reveal this truth, but yeah, now let's still stand with Israel. Why are people saying this? Let's screw the American people. We got to carry on about poor Israel. And look, it's not because I'm a heartless person. I'm truly not a heartless person. But I've listened to this for a long. I'm getting emotional about it now, because there's no way around it. Is what I'm trying to say. I get, it's just, but it's the way they pull the wool over your eyes. I don't believe for a minute that God is so heartless that he would let 6 million Jews be murdered and go to the gas chamber. I think that it's because they weren't following God. They were following the Old Testament God. And you can't, I'm sorry, I don't care what any president, I don't care what any pastor says. There's no way around that if you disregard Jesus, that God will be okay with that. Where in the Bible does it say, okay, my children, this certain sect of people doesn't have to believe in my son, but the rest of you do? No, actually says the opposite. It said there's no one that's special above anybody else. No Jew, no Greek. That's what it says. I think the only way that 6 million Jews would end up being slaughtered, that's not being chosen. I mean, that's not God protecting them. God wouldn't do that to them. But if God had already lifted protection off of them, then that would be why it happened. I know people don't often like to look at the past or look at uncomfortable things or look at things or say certain things because it maybe makes you look like you're anti-Jew. I'm not anti-anybody. I'm not anti-Israel. I'm just not. I just am tired of seeing people get killed. Whenever the media and the politicians all want us to, stand with Israel. And it's like, no, I just don't want to stand with anybody. And that's not me being evil. That's me saying that you want me to say all of this is okay, yet these people say that my God was the most damaging false prophet in history. I don't know. That's why Jesus said, don't attach to this place. It's nothing but a lie.